Hello, I'm Gemma from Aspirico. We recently travelled to Belfast to visit Julie and Tracy from Inspire Wellbeing to chat about their iplanit experience. Here's what they had to say. We hope you enjoy.
My name is Tracy Ritchie. I'm Assistant Director for Mental Health and Addiction Services across South Eastern Trust area and Belfast Trust area. I was then the project lead for rolling out this project in Mental Health and Addiction Services.
Hi, my name is Julie McIntyre and I'm manager of non-24 hour supported housing in North Belfast. I work alongside about 48 service users who are all actively using the system at the moment.
So our old system, basically it was just writing notes on it, and then you had to then upload the person's Word document of their support plan and their reviews and things like that. So we wanted a built-in system that would do that, and it would be all sort of live. And when you were looking at information like outcomes and links to KPIs, we weren't getting that, and we needed that, especially if you're going for contracts, new contracts, and also then providing evidence of the quality of the service.
And within services, definitely, obviously Tracy was saying it was all uploaded Word documents and stuff, so there were been a lot of paper copies, a lot of information stored upstairs, so to have everything central on one system has cut out that big risk around GDPR and stuff, which is absolutely amazing when you're working in services. So we have found that iplanit itself has actually cut that out completely for us within the service.
So for me, I think I liked it all. I liked the fact that the service user had access to their own plan, and they could then obviously be quite interactive with them. I also liked obviously that you could demonstrate outcomes being achieved and progressed. Needs assessment was very comprehensive and covered the majority of needs for all our service users across all the directorates. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And then location management, then all that health and safety paper files, and also then reminders on the calendar for them to do their fire checks and all the different checks. So that was good.
Well, I joined the team slightly later within, obviously we had chosen iplanit as a system, and I joined slightly later within the start-up of it, but I have found it absolutely great, and the thought of location management not just being on one system, I just love it. Writing notes and uploading documents onto the system, but it had no other functionality within that. So from my level, I did find that there was a bit of, concern, because obviously everything was going to be digital. We needed to learn a new system, but I think with any kind of change, with anywhere you are, that you do come up against that. But I have to say, with training and support from ourselves and champions within Inspire, I think we're pretty much getting there with it. So yeah, it's worked well.
Yeah, it was a mixture, some staff welcomed it, were very enthusiastic and passionate and love IT and all that sort of stuff. And then you have ones that have the fear around IT systems and scared that they're going to do things wrong and stuff like that. But again, it was investing in the champions and the training and the reassurance. Basically start to finish. So we would have had a service user journey procedure, and there was various forms in that. So it was obviously then to transfer that onto the system. So again, starting from referral right through to their needs assessment, their support planning, risks built in, and sort of the reviews, and then obviously then if someone then left the system, then the move on process of that. So yeah, so all aspects of it. So in one of my services, the RQIA inspector was very impressed with it, and she likes to see everything there in one place rather than having to look at all these different files. So she was very impressed and could see that the service user had been involved and sort of drawing up the plan and the needs assessment and things like that. So she was very impressed. So it has been positive. Some for contracts meetings, I've used some of the reports on the outcomes being achieved and been able to show that in the quality of the support plans.
I haven't had any big inspectors or QA supporting people or anything, but we would have internal inspections done every quarter, and it has been great for me to be able to show the pathway from assessment through to risk through to the goals and the support plan and that. So it has been really good for me because it's all just there, as Tracy said. You're not going through a paper file looking for this and looking for that and trying to find that linkage. It's all just there on one system, which is brilliant.
I suppose it's easier to sort of review. I know if I was going in and doing like a quality monitor visit, I can go on to the system and just go in and see the progress, and I can see the notes, I can see everything, I can see whether the risks have been linked, outcomes and things like that. Again, some services are better than others. So again, it's going to be that quality improvement with those other services. But yeah, it is a good way to look at it, and also then doing sort of incident reviews when I have to go in and see, what the support plan and the notes have been like. So yeah, it's very good that way.
It's been great for myself because I would manage 4 services that are not all based, in the same locality. So at any given point, I'm able to kind of just check in, make sure things are, being carried out whenever they're said to be carried out, because obviously I can't be in 4 places at once in one day. So the aspect of that, being able to make sure plans are completed and updated when they're required. The systems just tell me all that, where before I would have had to rely on good old paper copies on walls and ticking things off, where iplanit just kind of does all that for me now. So it has been very helpful to do it. For reporting, brilliant.
Yeah.
I believe it will once we get the service user portal up and running. Service users now, we've been sitting down and using iplanit with them up in the office and showing them the input into it, and adding bits into the media like videos, could be cooking videos, or even a map to go somewhere, or events that are going on in the local area will definitely have a huge impact on the service users that I would have, because they would be all very independent. It's a non-24-hour service, so and a lot of them are on these smartphones now, so hopefully it will be a great tool for them when the time comes for us to implement that.
Yeah, and you could see that they're person-centred, for reviewing support plans and things like that, you can see, and also then you have their perspective in it as well, so it's very good that way.
From my own personal, with my staff team, it was a bit of a struggle at the start with a few of them, because, there's just the fear of using a new system. But we're about a year and a half into using the system fully, and absolutely love the system because it's all there. Somebody asked them when we're having a monitoring visit, can we see something? They know exactly where everything is, and things are updated when things need to be updated, rather than maybe sitting for a few months without having that conversation, those meaningful conversation around goals when they've been completed. So definitely think it's been good for the staff too, because they feel confident within the system, and having the location management within it has been really good. Now they've really complimented that part of it for some reason, I don't know why, but it's because again it's all within the one system. So at the end of the night when we're doing checks and stuff, it's not about logging out of one system to go into another system to do it. It's all just central, and I have to say it's been very positive from my team.
Yeah, feedback's been positive for the majority, and people have embraced it. Again, there's some staff that were fearful, but again, it's that reassurance and additional training, and they can see the benefits of it. Some then have maybe struggled to roll it out in their service, but that was not because of the system, it was because maybe they didn't have enough staff on the ground to sort of support that. So, but yeah, we're getting there.
Well, previously, whenever we would have been using our previous system, you could not access the previous system unless you were on the desktop computer owned by Inspire. Where now, I would have staff members that would work in almost like a floating support service, so they're able to access the system on their work mobile, and they're able to update any information inside that, and then let myself know through the messaging system within iplanit. So it just makes it more accessible for myself and the staff to support our service users.
Yeah, I agree. Not having to wait till they go back to the office. Like for our phone support service, they can do on their phone their notes. It's instead of carrying paperwork out to visit clients in their own homes, so it's far better, easier that way. And also then obviously data protection that reduces that risk.
I mean, you've always allowed access even for people's contact numbers, where before you would have had to have come back to the office to get the number out of the file before you could make a contact and maybe the emergency contact, whereas I say this is just at the tip of a finger. It's great. We've found it really good. Obviously, as I say, for my floating support service, it's been brilliant. Say this is just at the tip of a finger. It's great. We've found it really good. Obviously, as I say, for my floating support service, it's been brilliant. I found the system great, obviously, for tracking. The KPIs was at the end of the 20 or 12 months I have to do report back to support people. Before it would have been me almost going through all the paper documents and making sure that, I'm meeting in each area. Or now it's just I run a report on my plan and my plan will give me all of that information. So this will be my first year of being able to use iPlanit to inform that report at the end of March. So that will really improve and cut time for myself looking through paper folders, because as I say, run the report and the results will get out from me. So it will help.
Yeah, because some do quarterly returns and then annual returns, so it'll be great to help rather than going and looking through files and trying to find information. So it's just there on the system.
So previously, all of our referral documentation would have been in hard copies usually, or saved on the computer. We would have had to keep another log and another Word document when people were coming and visiting the service, and tracking all of that stuff, for our funders, and it was part of the policy and procedure. The referral module within iPlanit actually will do all of that for me, and I'm able to upload the media in it. So at any given point, no matter, if I'm meeting with Tracy here, wanted to discuss something, I'm able to pull that information up there and then, or discuss independently, because Tracy can access the system herself. It also, helps us have that log to see if there was the interest from the person, if they're still wanting to come and accepting the referrals. It's a great process because it shows you that from the very beginning then, where before I wouldn't have had that on the old system. That would only have went in when I would have accepted a referral from somebody, where it kind of starts now before we accept everything. So yeah, haven't used it as much as some possibly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose we would have had a hard copy recording what stage the referral was at, so it's good that you can put this, whether they're on the wait list or they're penned in for more information or they've been accepted, so that's far better way to
Having the assessment within the system itself is great, because you're not missing anything then, and being able to link things together and not have like 20 goals, because it's totally unrealistic for people, that you're able to link these things together and they're able to see the clear link between the different areas within that assessment and need. It doesn't seem as daunting for people, and they enjoyed filling it in. They actually quite liked the idea of filling it in on the computer rather than where before I'd have really just have been sitting and writing these things down for, where they liked the interaction of almost filling it in themselves, because it wasn't us that was filling it, they were actually actively doing it themselves, so they were more involved even at that part of the process. I know it sounds very small, but it was huge to some of our service users, so it's been very beneficial.
So it's very comprehensive, and obviously we were involved in the build of it and adding those various sections, goals, needs that would meet across all the sectors, not just mental health, intellectual disabilities. So yeah, and again, it's straightforward. It's a tick, the type of support. It's also good that you can put in additions, whether it's another provider or it's not applicable to that service. So yeah, it's been great.
Oh, location management has transformed my management of health and safety within my services. Obviously I have a few services across the board, as I was saying, so it can be difficult to manage, but just having everything that I require in that system, and the additional information section I just love, because I'm able to write in lots of different things in there, that it's all there that other staff are able to access. It isn't just, sometimes I would know some information that staff wouldn't maybe necessarily know, but it's now all in the system, everybody knows. So the fire exit checklist, especially at night time, I know that sounds silly, but just not having to log out of one system to log into another system, because sometimes something happens and then you forget to do it, or it's all just in, and it's great. The visual reminders in the calendar, love. Staff seem to really enjoy ticking the buttons, filling out the bits, where before it was I think people were just doing it just because it was a task that needed to be done, or now they're actually typing it into the system and go well within my services anyway. I love it.
From your point of view, Tracy, are you find it easy to have an overview of all the different services?
Yes, because you can then go and see what's been completed, and it's also then good that we would have our health and safety department can then go in, if they were doing a health and safety audit, they can see what's completed and what's not been completed, and it's very good. Yeah,
excellent.
She really loves it.
I do.